And God knows I'm doing my best. I don't believe that sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll preach till I'm blue in the face about folks, being faithful to the Lord and to the church. And they'll say, yeah, I know. And we've all been there, haven't we, Buck? And folks, you know what they'll say? They'll say, boy, I started missing church and I started getting weak. I've been preaching that. That's why we need, Gary, we need to pray. Right. We don't want to separate ourselves or deny ourselves. The Bible teaches us to take up the cross and follow Him daily. We do exactly what we want, as Ronnie was talking about. And boy, we can't condemn. And you know what, Gary? Kellogg's, when they make cornflakes, didn't make a bunch of different recipes. You know, they would have a mess, Gary. They had one recipe. Now, I know that later they come out with frosted, but cornflakes is cornflakes. Yes, sir. Well, I better change it a little bit because there's a bunch down in Rumble, West Virginia that don't like them so sweet or they like them sweeter. No, sir. There it is. Buy them if you want to. If you don't want them, leave them on the shelf. Yes, sir. And He is not going to conform to Gary, to us. The Bible teaches us not to be conformed but to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. Amen. Forever. And Gary, that's what we want to do. Get back to what Ronnie was talking about. Me and Danny Kinder was, when he was my pastor, we attended down there. And since I was a little old boy, I didn't like to wear a shirt. Unless I was at church or school, I didn't have a shirt on. I got out of school. When I got out the front door, I jerked my shirt off. Wouldn't have one on till the next morning. About every picture my mom had of me, or a lot of them, I didn't have no shirt. And I was a handsome rascal. Yes, sir. I looked just like a thermometer. But anyway, I just didn't. And the same way with work. But Brother Danny was telling me one day, he said, we was talking about convictions. And Danny said, he said, I don't go without a shirt. I said, well, why not? And he said, the Lord condemned me of it. Now, I want you to listen. And I said, oh, Danny, that's taking it just a little bit too far. And he said, Richard, I'm not saying it's wrong for you. He said, I'm not telling you that you're going to hell if you go without a shirt in public. He said, I'm telling you, the Lord condemned me. He said, I'll take it a step farther. He said, I don't even wear a muscle shirt. I said, Lord have mercy, you're turning into one of them. I said, that is ridiculous. Well, Gary, about 2 or 3 months later, nobody said nothing to me. Nobody had to tell you. Gary, to take it a step farther, we really don't need teachers and preachers. Amen. Because we know, as Ronnie said, you take a little kid. When our kids was growing up, we didn't have to hire anybody to follow them around. You know when we knew to go looking, Gary? Well, this will get to a Christian.
Come on. You got quiet.
Come on, what? When they done what? Got quiet. Oh, will that preach? We could be here till 6 o'clock, Gary. Time for a start. How many knows what I'm talking about? Ain't Christians the same way? Oh, glory to God. Yes, sir. But when they come up missing and they get quiet, guarantee a lot of times they're in trouble and they're doing something. Everybody here ought to say, amen. You know how you can say it? Because you've been there and done that.
That's right. Yes.
Ouch. Zach, he's worse than Jenna. Jenna just closed her. She didn't fully understand. She closed her eyes and put her hand over her eyes. They couldn't nobody see what she's doing.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
One day I got off from work. I can take you to the place. Don't remember the day, but I remember the place. I was in the old Golly Bridge store. And I come out the front door. Gary had shut my shirt off. Ain't nobody said nothing about it. No more since me and Danny had talked about it months earlier. Shut that shirt off. And man, I might as well. Did you ever have a dream? And everybody's had this, and I've heard them. You ever realize you was in shopping somewhere or at church or something, and all of a sudden you just discovered that I don't know what makes you dream this, you ain't got no clothes on. Y'all been there? That's craziest feeling I ever. But anyway, Gary, shut that shirt off, man, and I'm telling you what. There wasn't no bolt of lightning. There wasn't no big wind. They didn't, nobody else around know what was going on. But I put that shirt on, and in public I've never, other than being at the pool or at the beach or something, but running around. Are you saying go without a shirt, preacher, and send you? No, sir. No, sir, I ain't saying. But I knew one thing, they didn't nobody had to tell me. And ain't nobody got to tell none of us. And church, listen to me. I know we all got ideas, but they ain't but one book.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Now listen, we don't require as much back here in this classroom out of this group of people. That, listen to me. You get their Sunday school books, Gary. It ain't as firm as our Sunday school book. Why? Because the Bible said when I was a child, I spake as a child, I done as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Yes, sir. Boys, Gary, it's time to grow up. Yeah, this is serious. It's not a playground, but it's a battlefield. And if we want to see Jesus, we'll be like him. Amen. Rest assured. I read in a book somewhere, maybe somebody can help me remember, but if we find our treasure, we'll find our heart. If we find our heart, Gary, we'll find our treasure. Because the Bible said, yeah, I believe it's in that book. He said, where our heart is, there would be our treasure. Listen, in closing, I told Zach, me and Zach was talking about being appreciative and being thankful. And here a while back, just discussing it. And I said, Zach, God been real good to us. And Gary, I wish, you know when I really appreciated what my parents done for me? After I stepped into their role. And I told Zach, I said, Zach, one of these days, you'll appreciate, and he does now, but I said, there's no way that you can. But Buck, that's the whole thing to being a Christian, is being able to appreciate what God has done for us. Gary, he didn't have to go to the cross of Calvary. I remember growing up, my daddy worked on Summersville Dam up there building that, and he was on a powder crew, and we lived in that little old coal company house up Jody, and he'd come in the front door, Gary, and he'd fall down on his face with a headache and lay there for hours. Mommy would go over there and put wet towels over his head. And we would ask, what in the world's wrong? What's it? And it's that powder, that dynamite, that rock dust that he had breathed all day long. And I said one time, I said, why does he go up there and breathe that stuff? Gary, you know why he did it? He knew when he went up there tomorrow, it was going to be just like last week. But he had to do it. Why did he have to do it? Because he had some babies back at the house that he loves us. Oh, Gary, when they stretched him out on that cross, he was human like we are. But when they drove that first nail through that first hand, listen, it hurt just like it would hurt us. Why did he do that, Gary? Because he had some babies come along that would need provision. Yes, sir. That would need a Savior. That would need a help. And you know what? That second hand, Gary, when they put it up on the cross, it hurt just as bad as the first one. Why?